strong enough to say that they're in violation.
We're very lucky to have Kara in our district. She does an amazing job.
You hear the local people that make the news every day, 7 days a week on the big 1520 AM, 92.3 FM, and 106.5 FM WHOW, and on your easy choice for soft hits, 95.9 FM WEZC.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest on the Zoom today, Breann Titus with Community Action. She is the Chief Visionary Officer at Community Action. Good morning, Breann. How are you?
Good morning. That one rolled right off the tongue for you this morning.
I cannot, you know what? I've got it down, one, but two, I just can't resist saying it. It's such a unique title. Like, who is a chief visionary officer in any other, like, realm of whatever, business or likewise,
Yes, it's super special.
Do you feel super special sometimes?
Sometimes I do, and the other times I'm like, I feel very undeserving, which I think is just typical for most people.
No question. Well, hey, I know we were supposed to chat with Alicia Mitchell, who is personally one of my favorites of your group of folks there at Community Action. So I guess you're Alicia today, Breann. Let's talk fostering grandparents and that program that Alicia heads up. How about it?
Absolutely. Yeah. Alicia, just had the nerve to take a vacation day today. How dare she? However, she oversees our volunteer services program. She also oversees our foster grandparent program. That's actually where I got my start with Community Action. And so I started 9 years ago, actually as the foster grandparent director, transitioned into volunteer services. And so I've stayed with the program this whole time, and then eventually became the FGP program director supervisor. So even though it's been a little while, I am still involved with the program pretty much on a daily basis. And so hopefully I can do it justice. But the biggest things is like right now we are in a transition period with foster grandparents. So the way our fiscal year starts, or the way our fiscal year runs, is it actually starts or started on July 1. Mm-hmm. So we are in a brand new fiscal year. And so what that means is, we're looking for volunteers in all of our counties that we service for foster grandparent, but more specifically, we're looking for DeWitt and Logan County volunteers. We have some of our Head Start classrooms within those two counties that have some availability. And of course, in August, they're going to be in school. And so we want to make sure that we have some extra set of hands in there. If we can provide that to our teachers and our students, and just provide that presence. With the grandparent presence, it does make a huge difference, especially when the kids are in there and maybe they don't have grandparents that are, involved in their daily lives, or maybe they don't have grandparents that live close by. They really kind of build that relationship with the volunteers. And it's really amazing. And we've seen really big growth and impact in a positive way for some of our students, not just Head Start students, but any of the students that are connected with the foster grandparent. So, we want to be able to provide that if possible.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Now, you mentioned being in that time of transition. Does that mean you're preparing for the upcoming school year? Like, is this a school-based program, or is this a, kind of school calendar mirrored program? How does that work?
Yeah, a couple of years ago is when our fiscal year shifted, and it did start to mirror more of the school year, which was nice because we have some volunteers in foster grandparent that do volunteer over the summer, but not all of them. Mm-hmm. And so for budgetary reasons, and even just financial, trying to figure out what we're going to spend versus what we're not going to spend, it was definitely easier to budget and to manage that grant when it was on the same cycle as a school year. And so we're prepping for next school year. We do have some volunteers currently that are active in the summer programming, some summer tutoring, after school programs that happen all year, summer long, things like that. However, this is really kind of our build up time. to get those extra volunteers ready to go, get them through the background checks, get them through their orientations and their trainings before the classrooms go into session. And that way we have our volunteers ready to go and be in that classroom environment.
So are we actively recruiting seniors then right now?
Yes. So 55 years and older is kind of the age requirement for this particular program. There is an income requirement, but there is a little bit of flexibility there in the sense that we do an income form and you put in like what your current income is, whether that be SSI or pension or whatever that looks like. And then there's a section that you can actually deduct any of your current medical expenses. So if you have insurance and you're paying premiums out of your own pocket, or you're paying for prescriptions out of your own pocket, that all can be deducted. And sometimes that helps go from somebody being over income slightly to within income guidelines. So we definitely encourage people to do that. This, and then there's a background check, obviously, because we're working with a vulnerable population, we're working with children. And so we do an extensive background check as well, and that can take a little bit of time. And there is a benefit to this program, not only from the socialization aspect for the student and for the volunteer, but there's also a tax-free stipend. And so it does not affect any other income for the volunteer. It is truly a supplemental to what they already have. And it's $4 an hour of what they're giving for volunteer time. So, if you're kind of in that pinch, you're on a fixed income and you're thinking, man, I'm struggling a little bit to pay for this extra prescription every month, or whatever that looks like for you. This could be a great option. If you're bored and lonely at home and want to get out and do something, this also could be a great option.
All right. Very good. So keep that in mind. And for, to get down into the program itself, let's talk about maybe what those interactions are like. I mean, what's a senior doing with these kids? And, is it, again, I think you mentioned it, but is it a daily thing? Is it, how often are they doing those things? What does this program look like at a more micro level?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a variety of different types of volunteer stations. So those can be actual Head Start centers, those can be your public schools, those can be private schools, even some daycare facilities. And we range in age from infants all the way up to, grade school level. So really, we try to make a good fit. So we have some of those volunteers that say, I don't want to be with the 2-year-olds because I just don't have the maybe the physical ability to kind of run around after a 2-year-old or whatever that looks like. So we really do try to place them in a center that makes sense for them. And so depending on the age group that they're with, that can also depend on what they're doing with them. However, every volunteer has what we call an assignment plan. So they know what they're supposed to be doing. They can be assigned anything from helping them with social and emotional things, showing love, showing care, and that kind of grandparent role, to anything from helping them with their food, to reading to them, to maybe helping them with their colors and numbers, alphabet and things of that nature. And then our grade school level, that could even look like helping them with their homework, and doing that side of things. So there's lots of different options. As far as time commitment is concerned, we do require a minimum of 15 hours a week. And then we have volunteers that are there 40 hours a week. So again, it depends on what the volunteer is up for. It also depends on what the site is in need of. But the reason we require the minimum is because there really is a relationship building component that happens when you put these volunteers in the classroom. And when we're dealing with social and emotional development, especially with kids that maybe are on low income, that maybe don't have that support at home, they are really building strong relationships with these volunteers. And that is a person that they really start to feel comfortable with. And if we're only there 2 days, or 2 days a week, or maybe even 2 hours a week, it really lacks that component that is so important for child development. And so we want them to be able to have enough time with them that they're building that good relationship to be able to work with them effectively.
Gotcha. Breann Titus, Community Action Chief Visionary Officer, our guest on the Zoom here for this morning. We talk about the foster grandparents, and when you talk about that relationship between the senior and the child, it's probably one of those things where the seniors get as much out of it as maybe the kids do.
Absolutely. So we survey the volunteers periodically, and we ask them those questions. And there are so many of the volunteers that say they don't know what they would do without this program. They don't know what they would do without the socialization that happens. And whether that be with others, the staff from the center that they're at, those children, even like the fellow foster grandparents that we get to kind of socialize with, because they're like, we would literally be lonely at home. I had one time a volunteer, she was on leave for health conditions, and she called me one day and she was like, I have to go back. Like, I can't be in this house anymore. I can't be sitting here anymore. She's like, I have to go back. I miss my kids. And so they really embrace that grandparent role. And some of them, I have another grandparent volunteer who her grandkids are not local to her, and she misses them so much. And this is a way that she can have that similar relationship on a more consistent basis when she's missing her own grandkids. So yes, I mean, whether that be a financial thing that helps them, whether that be a socialization thing that helps them. And I mean, if you look up studies when it comes to volunteerism and seniors from a health impact, being in that type of environment and keeping active, keeping around people, and doing something in volunteerism, the benefit of them living longer, healthier lives is crazy, as well as being able to live independently. A lot of them that are getting up and moving and doing things even on a daily basis or even a couple days a week are more active. And so therefore they're living more independently longer, which, is saving them money, as well as everyone else money, because they're not having to go into an extended living facility because they're staying active. 100%. So yes, there's benefits to the kids, the staff that's working with them, as well as the volunteers. Yeah.
All well said. Very well said there, Breann. Very good. Well, I'll tell you what, if folks want to learn more about volunteering for the Fostering Grandparents program, how do they get a hold of Alicia, who couldn't join us today, but how do they get a hold of her to learn more?
Yeah. So I'm going to always shoot out our website, which is www.capsule.info. There's so much information on the website. There's also a form that you can fill out to request more information about this particular program or any others. Our Facebook page is a great place because we have all the current events there. Phone number is 732-2159. Alicia also spends 2 days a week in the Clinton office. So if you're local to DeWitt and Clinton, you can actually just stop over and see her on Tuesdays and Thursdays in person, or you can call her and schedule an appointment. But she would love to talk to you about what that looks like. And just a little last minute tidbit there. We are celebrating our 60th anniversary of this program. Wow. So the whole foster grandparent AmeriCorps Senior is celebrating 60 years, but we as Capsule have been a recipient or a grantee of this program since the very beginning. So we're celebrating 60 years of this program, which is crazy and kind of unheard of anymore. And so come be a part of that. And we're looking to attend events to celebrate. So if you have any of those, let us know.
Very good. Well, Breann, I'll tell you what, let's break here, come back with some more. Breann Titus, Community Action, our guest. She is the Chief Visionary Officer with Community Action, our guest on the Zoom today. More to come with Breann on The Morning Show.
WHOW.
Shane Steinberg here from Highway 51 Exchange, your equipment rental headquarters, south of Clinton on US 51. Check our banner ad on DeWittDailyNews.com to book online today and pick up tomorrow. Highway 51 Exchange.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
Breathing problems can affect every aspect of your life. Breathe easier with Gibson Area Hospital Pulmonology Clinic and Dr. Ismail Bobat, now providing pulmonology health services to DeWitt County at Warner Hospital in Clinton. Dr. Bobat is an expert at identifying and treating pulmonology health conditions. Get the right diagnosis and treatment for your breathing problem with an experienced pulmonologist. For healthier breathing, book an appointment in Clinton today. Call 217-784-2212.
Apex Clean Energy, growing a better future for local farmers and landowners in our local communities, takes this time to congratulate the area 4-Hers that put their heart and soul into raising their cattle, hogs, rabbits, chickens, or growing their plants and flowers, or other culinary delights, all to be shown at this summer's County 4-H and Junior Fairs. Your dedication to agriculture is shown in all the ribbons you bring back to your local county and community. Way to go, 4-Hers, for your hard work. From Apex Clean Energy, growing a better future for local farmers and landowners in our local communities.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. Breann Titus with Community Action is our guest on the Zoom for today. And Breann, tell us about a partnership that Community Action has with Right Stuff for Kids. What's going on here?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I will first say that Alicia is so great at building partnerships. And she is so good about getting the community involved and figuring out like how we can build those organizational relationships. And one of the ones that she has built up is the Right Stuff for Kids that is local there. And at the end of the month, one of our FGP in-services that we are hosting, which we do on a consistent basis, we are going to actually be partnering with Right Stuff for Kids and helping them with their school supply distribution. And so we're going to help kind of sort that and get that all ready to get distributed out to families in the local community that need those school supplies. And so we are going to be working with them. The grandparents are very excited to be a part of this. They love to be able to work with school supplies, knowing that there are kids that are going to get fresh supplies and knowing that they're helping the parents. It's one of their favorite activities. And so if anybody wants to still donate to this distribution, our Clinton office is a drop-off location. And so next to Dollar Tree, you can go in and drop off school supplies that are still needed. And I believe on the Right Stuff for Kids website, there is more information about that as far as what is needed and what supplies that they're asking for. And so if you're wanting to do that, that would be fantastic. Anything you can spare would be great. And then of course we'll have, posted pictures and things like that of our foster grandparents getting involved in that activity. But we just really appreciate what Right Stuff for Kids does in the local community. And we just love to be a part of that.
You mentioned the FGP in-services. What is that?
Yeah. So we have in-service training for our foster grandparents throughout the whole year.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And it's just additional training, but it can be anything from training that benefits them personally. So like maybe we'll bring in a Medicaid representative to help explain things or allow them to ask questions. Maybe that could be something to deal with identity theft or specific to seniors, or it can be something that benefits them working in the classroom. So that could be specific training for them to how to deal with behavioral issues or how to deal with a certain child's development, different activities to do with them if they're helping them with a particular area. So we kind of have fun. We give them some time to socialize with each other, build relationships. We feed them. We make a big deal about that. And then, of course, we also allow time for, going on some housekeeping things, handbook changes, et cetera. And the last couple of years, because of additional grant funds, we've been able to spoil them a little bit and give them some recognition items, sweatshirts, jackets, things where they can represent the program, and they're super excited about that. They
Sure.
love plaster it all over themselves that they're involved in the program.
Love the swag. Love the swag. Sure.
Yes,
One more time.
love the swag.
Yeah, one more time. Highlight that partnership with Right Stuff for Kids, and again, where, and how folks can get involved in that, Breann.
Yeah, so Right Stuff for Kids is doing a school supply collection, and our capsule branch office there next to Dollar Tree there in Clinton is a drop-off location. So if you want to donate any items, that would be a great place to start. And then at the end of the month, our foster grandparents will work with Right Stuff for Kids to get all of that sorted and get ready for distribution. And if you want to sign up your child to be a part of that, to get some of those school supplies, you can also do that at the Clinton office there at 45 Cedar Square.
Easy enough. Very good, Breann. Good stuff as always. Well, I hate to do this to you. I've got to let you go for the day. Best way for folks to learn about all things community action, Mrs. Chief Visionary Officer.
Yeah, Facebook page, like I said, is pretty much the best place to be. It's all the current happenings. Just search for us. You can find us, capsule.info on our website, or you can call us at 217-732-2159.
Easy enough. Breann Titus is the Chief Visionary Officer for Community Action, our guest on the Zoom here for this morning. Again, the morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton.
WHOW.